Yes, it is Monday. It's the Marvel Contest of Champions news for the 13th of May 2019. Hopefully you had a good weekend, whatever you're doing. And let's jump into the news. News kicks off covering the missing solo events from yesterday. If you know that yesterday when you're in game, you're like, well, where's all my solo events gone? Why hasn't it kicked off? There was about a 4-hour downtime, I believe, where we weren't able to access anything as solo events. Although I went to bed, so I didn't know how long that continued on for. I also like the way that Kabam responses are now kind of like, yeah, we know. Stop getting on our back about it. It's been 1.5 hours. We know. We're trying to deal with it. Can you please get off our shit? Then later on it was addressed and a fix was then pushed out. But when it did come back, it was noticed that there was a loss of hours. So obviously a 22-hour event going down to 16 hours at the point of implementation means that it was 6 hours that the problem was therefore, and people weren't able to grind out for hero use. And also for those waiting for a tech advancement, maybe have missed out on that opportunity. So a little bit of disappointment there. And the point to really take away is I don't think there's anything that's going to come more of this. I know for Kabam they have a sequencing based thing, so they talk about scheduling, so they'll have a schedule of the way that the event is meant to run. So it's meant to run 22 hours. It's not a case that this event could be pushed for 24 hours. And then the other event that comes in the back of it could then start this kind of concertina and domino type issue and effect that if they do the same thing the others, would it push out the others? Let's just say it's back now and let's hope this doesn't happen again. Next up, and you came out in record number to vote for, no you didn't come out in record number, but you did vote for Colossus. Just 5,000 people voted for Colossus. 9,000 people turned up. Bit scary really, something that I opened up as a topic on Marvel Contest Champions News Weekend, and what we will discuss further on the weekend news is that whether or not the game is as supported as it is. I think that with this, it may be a case of different factors. For a lot of people, it's a case they don't actually enjoy going on the forums, number one. And number two, maybe it would have been best to have this in some sort of in-game based poll, as it may have been something that engaged a lot more people. Under 10k people voted, which is just a little bit pathetic. So what is the best thing moving forward? And it may be a case to, like I said, do something in-game or on a social media site or something where it's a bit more that it's seen. I don't know if the forums are very rarely looked upon, but it does look like the numbers are indeed down. However though, people's reasonings are thusly about why they went for Colossus. As I said, the reason that I think that he deserved it because he was one of the first. He was technically in the December 2014 rollout, one of the very original champions. So therefore, my theory is start with the oldest and start moving your way through rather than going, let's all vote for a champion. But I do commend Kabam on that because what you've done is you've thrown it over to the people to vote and you start that kind of level of transparency, openness with the community. So that is a good touch. Either way, it looks like Colossus is getting that update very soon. And in particular, it was quite notable that the way things were worded for this particular sentence here maybe says that we could be receiving more updates fairly soon. The first of many, it feels like that, even though it's not worded in the same way, it just feels in the way you kind of read it out that it could be, it feels like the first of many champions that are going to get updated. Whether or not we have a vote on it, maybe we won't. But also I would like to know if whether or not Kabam go down the route or will continue the route that they're going in, with Gamora having that kind of silent buff that we didn't expect, whether or not they've got a plan to do a few other of those, which would be good for pacing from Kabam's point. So hopefully that continues. Next up, and I invite you to take a look at the link in the description about greater last stand crystals and the drop rates for certain things. As you can see here, some people are getting some really nice things, but it's not the case for everybody. I think we'd all love to pick up a 5-star skill awakening gem and at least a fully formed tier 2 alpha, or maybe this is part of a forming of a tier 2 alpha, because I don't think you can get a fully formed one. I think you can only get fragments. I think for a lot of us, we're set for getting tier 5 basic fragments as well as 5-star shards, but obviously we want the more juicier things that come out for these crystals. In any case, post what you've got in the link in the description, go over to the forum, post it in the thread, and keep this chain alive just to see what people are getting and whether or not we feel that this throughout the event is improving, is not, are people getting trashed still? It'll be interesting to see. Next up, and it looks like next month, the month of June, may be a fantastic month. This dropped yesterday, information from Ultrux on what was going to be happening next month. From the game file information, it looks like we're going to get Sue Storm And also we're going to get something in correlation with an Atlantean-based event, so that really would bring Namor into the game. And for a lot of people, they may know of this storyline because of the love triangle, kind of well, cheating on Reed Richards thing that happened. So this could be something I'm like, oh, I don't know why Kabam are touching on this story if that's the way that they're going, but still it is very exciting to see Sue Storm come into the game, and also Namor, something that people have been shouting about for a long time, years and years. So it is going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to June for these two characters. I don't know whether or not Sue Storm is going to be one of those OP ones. I think that she is one of, if not the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four. So it's going to be incredibly exciting to see how Kabam get this character to the game. But we're rooting for you, we really are. Next up, and have Kabam confirmed that we're going to be getting a Thor, Stormbreaker and a Valkyrie into the game? No, they haven't. The fact is, you can talk about this being confirmed. Let's face it, in the past, Kabam have confirmed a lot of things. In particular, in 2015, they were going to think about putting in a Quicksilver in line with Age of Ultron, but decided that, well, it didn't really work at the time. So do take this with a pinch of salt, and if you're thinking that very soon you're going to be seeing your favourite character, because let's face it, the Stormbreaker version of Thor was a champion we all wanted to see. I don't think it's going to happen unless they revisit the whole kind of story arc of what's going on. Maybe an Asgardian event, maybe something to go in line with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is slated for 2021. And also, more than likely, we probably wouldn't see a slim Thor, we'd probably see, because it just feels that it's more in line with, well, what's going on with the MCU. It's then good for Kabam because then it can do stuff in line with the films, get new fans in basically to play or grab that champion that they enjoy. But it would just be very much on what you see on the screen as opposed to what would be the current feeling. I don't think they really go back to stuff, they go forward. So this may be the version that you'll see. Or maybe they do this version and put synergy together with Groot as well as Rocket Raccoon. But the Thor that I would love to see would actually be this one here. The Thor with the Destroyer arm. So basically, if they do this in line with the films, so say when Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out, or they decide to do a fourth Thor film, try and say that when you're drunk, fourth Thor film, that they go down the route of having his arm chopped off just so that he could do this. And this is something that I thought they might have done with Avengers Endgame, that if he wields the Infinity Stones with a gauntlet, that it basically screws up his arm and it can't fight, so he then decides, well, I'll have it chopped off and then I'll have the Destroyer arm. But obviously they decided not to go down that route. So I think they were trying to tease that a little bit, but I think that may be something that they may go down the route in future films. So please, but not to kind of like go back to the whole kind of Endgame based argument or kind of talking about more, I guess because Thor was needed more in the battle than Hulk was, and obviously because of the way that they kind of stipulated the story was like, okay, well, because of the gamma rays and gamma based damage that would come from Hulk wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, he was the best person to do it, and having Thor in the fight against Thanos at the end was needed a lot more. On to our final story, and it's arena results time. So at the point of recording this video, if you want round 2 predictions, they are down below at the moment. But it looked like 2.1, I've seen a 2.2 mil for the champion. Also, I've seen a 2.5. I don't really want to guess too much with this, but it looked like the champion actually went quite low. So if you want some safe round 2 predictions, I'm going with still my 2.2 mil. I'm even thinking that maybe you should stretch it to 2.3 mil just to make sure that that is indeed safe. But keep yourself following Marvel Contest Champions True Cost for the results, full results later on today. The 5-star, 34 mil I've seen, but I'm going with what I said last time, which is go for 35 mil just to be safe. So it does that was a good prediction. But it looks like this is, again, take this with a grain of salt. I think I've seen 4.1 mil get you the 4-star Proxima at 796 position, which, if correct, is very, very low. Which I assume is this here. I'd probably say to check back and have a look, just to make sure later on that that is indeed the case, that this is the lowest cutoff for Proxima Midnight. But I would say if you want to feel a little bit more safer about this, because I've seen 7 mils that have got positions of like 100, then it may be best to go for, as I said before, like 5.5mm, maybe upping it to 6mm if you want to feel completely safe about your grind. Either way, what are your thoughts on today's stories? Do you think that we'll probably get something like Stormbreaker Thor in the future? Do you think that it's going to be a completely different champion? As I said, my predictions are that we won't see it for about 2 years, and the version that we'll probably get is something a bit different. Like I said, personally hoping for the Destroyer version. And the whole thing about the Avengers Endgame, I just feel that it may be a case that he's going to get his arm chopped off and he's going to have the Destroyer arm. Be a bit like Winter Soldier in appearance, but still, it will be absolutely badass to see him like that, especially at the same time with the kind of battle axe and kind of some of the images that I've seen. Could lead to that in the future, but I'm very excited to see what they can do with this. And obviously Valkyrie's a great character, so it'd be good to see her in the future as well. Thank you very much for watching. I've been RichTheMan. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. Catch me in the live stream today at 1900 hours GMT. Go over and support my other channel, Stormbreaker Gaming, which, funnily enough, low-key plug there. I've done it again, low-key plug. I'm going to go and contemplate life now. Bye-bye for now.